Alright. Hi, everyone. Sailor Moon here. Hi, everyone. Sailor Jupiter here. Sailor King World. LITA here. And today I'm going to talk about being kicked out of Learn for fighting. Now, we all know in Sailor Moon that it came out that I was kicked out or let go or fired from my old Learn for fighting. It doesn't say why. It doesn't say what the fight was about. It says there was a fight. And that was the grounds to why everyone was keeping away from me or frightened to be around me when I showed up and in the first following a Sailor Moon. A lot of folks out there wonder if and the truth is it doesn't come out. And the truth is, I don't even think even in the books or even in Sailor Moon Hearst that gives you a truly good reason for fighting. It just says, it only goes, oh, you heard Lita, she was kicked out of Old Learn for fighting, but it doesn't say why. Now, I know some folks out there might come up with the belief that it was my old boyfriend, FREDDY, who broke up with me, either sometime before I came to Crossroads or Round Street, which was the name of the town. That was the name of the town in Deeks 1, believe it or not. That was the ground for me fighting in my Learn, and no one really knew the answer for it, And yes, it does, and I do fight. Yes, there was a time when I was fighting Zoisite to help Game Told Joe out. There was also another time where, and this was more the Black Moonkins doing here, when Emerald had a spell that made everyone see Amy as a cheater, and then three folks came at me, and then I slammed them all down saying, and Amy goes, you shouldn't do that to them. And I said, well, they called you a cheater. So, yeah, so I did fight, So there was fighting. But it didn't say that was how I got kicked out of my old Learn for fighting. And if that was true, then I would have been kicked out of Round Street or Crossroads or Round Street Learn for fighting too. But that never seems to happen. Now, a lot of folks have me out to be a tomboy or whatever the English word for that would have been. And I tell folks that every time I had to have the cooking side, I had to have the tree growing side, I had to have that side of me so folks would be less frightened of me due to either my name for fighting or whatever. And everyone who heard about what happened in my old Learn, and everybody was told to keep away from me. And Serena was the first one who befriended me. And then, there was Amy and Ray, and then Mina, and I guess you can say Rini too. And then there was Amara, Michelle, and Trista, and Taru. Well, and there was Ernest later on. Yeah, Darian did too. Now, a lot of folks out there would say that there were a lot of unlikenesses in the Deke world when one asked about why I wasn't wearing the same clothing that everybody else would wear going to that Learn. I said, well, there's no clothing that fits me, meaning that I was too big. And Viz, I go, oh, I just like wearing this. Now, a lot of folks out there will also know that there is a little unlikeness between me and Makoto. I don't know if anyone knows any Makotos out there. Let me know if you know someone has that name or not. Is that her mother and father died in a skyship mishap a long time ago. Well, I said, and this was in Sailor Moon Super S or Sailor Moon SS, I said, my mother is still alive. I did say that. I said my mother can't take care of a cat because she can't handle cat fur. So saying that my mother and father were still alive, and someone's going to say, oh, that was Pioneer. That was Cloverway making a mistake of what was being said. Well, no, that was how I was very unlike. you know. Now, a lot of folks always like to bring up, but I'm always boy crazy or man crazy, and how everyone I see makes me think of my old boyfriend Freddie, from Andrew, who worked at the game middle. He's into Misha, the one of the World Game Ice Skaters that the Dark Kingdom had a fiend take over him. And he's into Alan, and anyone else who happened to so yeah, there were a lot of fun, and he's in Game Tool Joe. So there were a lot of folks that I always kept on thinking, oh, and there was even Tiger's Eye. So let's not forget about how I was always made out to be boy crazy or man crazy or something like that. And everyone I saw, friend, foe, whatever, anyone, I would say, oh, it makes me think of my old boyfriend Freddie. But then one time I said, why would I think of Freddie for? Because he broke up with me. Now, believe it or not, Kenneth was only a friend, and that was it, nothing more. And he helped me out of a bind one day when Frederick broke up with me. And it was raining that day. And then Kenneth came over to see if I was all right with his rain shield over me. And then he even helped. He even one, and either when Alan and Ann had one of their fiends go after him, he got himself harmed, hoping to keep me well from the fiend. Which then I had to give him some of my blood because the healing house didn't have the same kind of blood that he had. Now, I know that this is going way, way off talking about myself, but here are some of the things that both Deke and Cloverway and Viz kept that was the same. Cooking, yeah, that was a big one. Setting up trees, that was another one. And having my dream, to own having a dream, to open up, a little eating hall. I called it a tea house. I called it eating hall. The name kept shifting. And, and then a lot of folks will also bring up the grounds, about how, well, yeah. So at the end of the day, I don't really know if me and Makoto, if I'm saying that Dawnish borrow name right or not, let me know. There's not really that much that's the same between me. Oh, yeah, we both got the same clothing, the same hair cast, skin cast. Yes, it's true. But at the end of the day, the one little big unlikeness is where, her mother and father died in a skyship mishap, and my mother and father did not. Now, and that's really all I want to say. So let me know what you think about this and me talking about, all the things about me. Let me know. I, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor King World LITA, and I'll see you later.